Okay, welcome to the 44th episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I'm Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
And I'm City of Pueblo Mayor Heather Graham.
And I'm actually in front of the camera today instead of behind the camera.
No guests today.
Yeah, we've had a lot of guests lately, but excited to be back with you. And just want to remind our listener, you can find us on Apple, YouTube, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can also watch this on Channel 17. Just want to remind you that if you have a topic suggestion or question, you can email us mayor@pueblo.us. Mayor, we're back in the swing of things. Yep. We have some new city councilors, and Monday was a long night for, some pomp and circumstance of swearing in of the new Civil Service Commissioner and the 4 new city councilors. I know everybody's very confused when I say 4, but technically Councilor Boston was not an elected official previously. He was an appointed official. So, but the chambers were packed, and it was very exciting. And we also had a really long agenda for the new council to go through. Yep. So it was a long night, but also because there was a lot of work that was done.
It was long, but, I looked down at, my watch at, 8, and I was like, I'm surprised we're this far along.
Me too, yeah.
With everything that we had to do before.
Well, and we also knew the new councilors were going to want to address folks and do the council commentary. It also was our first official meeting back for the new year, and so it felt new for a lot of reasons. Then we elected council president, vice president, work session chair. There were a lot of things to happen before, any voting was done. Right. So, it was great. It was great. So, Councilor Aliff is our president, and Councilor Gomez is our vice president, and Councilor Ruiz-Gomez is our work session chair.
Yep.
But before the regular meeting, you gave a presentation during the work session for a project that you're calling Building Back Bessemer.
Yep.
So I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about that and what all that entails.
Yeah, so shortly after the mayoral city manager election, and when I knew I was going to be here, I was obviously let's plan some goals for 2026 and things that we need to get done, right? Mm-hmm. And so every Tuesday I meet with the Urban Renewal Authority, PEDCO, staff members, sometimes board members come into our meeting, and it's like an overall economic development meeting where we sit down and talk about all the projects that we're working on in the city. And so time and time again, from council, from members of the community, we have heard, what are you going to do about Bessemer? Mm-hmm. And so I had told the group, I said, let's go door knock some of these buildings in Bessemer that are boarded and burned, and see who owns them and see if the city can acquire them. Well, my phone must have been listening to me, naturally, because this listing came up about almost an entire city block that was going to be for sale in Bessemer. So I immediately called the real estate agent, go take a tour of the buildings. It was a decent deal for the city. It's $99,000 for 4 units, but they make up almost an entire city block.
On Northern Avenue?
Northern, and they're boarded. The insides are pretty trashed out.
Okay.
And then directly across the street, we also have some more burned and blighted buildings. And then on the next block, we have some vacant lots that also need to be addressed. And so we looked at this as a whole, a big picture of what we could do and how we could start to acquire some of these properties, and in conjunction with the Urban Renewal Authority, go back and start revitalizing this area without the government coming in and spending some money and taking charge of this area. I don't, in my opinion, I don't think anything is going to happen.
Sure.
You're not going to have a developer come in and purchase these properties without knowing that the city and the Urban Renewal Authority are going to be there to help incentivize and help with the process of revitalization for these properties. So this is an overall project for Bessemer. It's going to continue throughout the year.
Okay.
We have 90 days. We're going to do a phase one on the properties, and then figure out what type of a funding source we're going to use. So whether we're going to take a whole bond for the district,
Okay.
and use other existing TIF dollars from a different district to service the debt that's coming to the city's general fund right now. But go in and try to do some revitalization. So we have the fence being put up in February. We have the Converges building that's been torn down. I see that they're putting up the fencing to get started on the Circle K. And then this week we're going to have an RFP go out for a proposal for the backside of Converges that the city owns to do some attainable, affordable workforce housing. So there's a lot of moving parts to Building Back Bessemer. I keep getting myself confused because I keep saying Building Back Bessemer, and then I say Bringing Back Bessemer, and so it's just BBB. You know, there's so many good things. We're building it back, we're bringing it back, and so this is how we're going to spend our 2026, is trying to revitalize some of the areas in Bessemer.
I think that specific area is a really exciting area to start with because you have some anchor places in Bessemer right there. You know, you have Gagliano's.
Nunez Lounge.
Yep.
Clients Key.
You also have
Jorge's.
Right.
Staples of our community.
Yeah. And you have generations of businesses right there that have really deep roots and are there to stay. And so I also think that when you start to revitalize this area, there's appreciation for the small businesses that already exist, and then an opportunity for new business to come in and understand the legacy that's been built there. It's a really important side of Pueblo because of the steel mill and how much history is right there. It's also an entrance off of, I-25. It's kind of like a gateway to the community. And so I think it's exciting just to see an opportunity of new and also see some properties that we've seen vacant for a really long time get some love and attention that they deserve. And so I'm excited to see what the community has to say about this and how they'll feel about their neighborhood getting the facelift it needs.
Right. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's really exciting. So another very exciting piece that then was discussed later at council, we finally approved the permit for the Routt property, which is right in that same section.
Awarding the contract for...
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. But can you talk to us about why this process has been so long and why that property on Routt has looked the way it has for as long as it has?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's burned several times in the last 2 years. I mean, the last burning of it was it almost completely came down at this point. It's been a dumping site for household waste. We go in and clean up around as much as we can, but there is asbestos contamination on the property. The property is privately owned. It's not a city-owned property. It's just city can't just go in there and remove the garbage and the structure that's left. So what happens is the city has to submit a permit application to the state, CDPHE.
Okay.
And
because of the asbestos and remediation.
Yep. And we have to get approval from the state to go in. They set a work plan for us.
Okay.
Once all of that is ready, we put the project out for bid. So it was out for bid for about a month. I think we had 3 people respond to it. The total bid amount that came in was $161,000 with like a $24,000 contingency. So the city is going to be spending almost $200,000 of our demo funds to remove and clean up the blight on that property, and then we'll lien the property.
Okay.
That property will not be worth the money that we spend to remediate the property.
Sure.
But it also butts up to 2 of the properties in the presentation that I gave on Monday. So overall, hoping maybe to see that lot turned into a parking lot or a pocket park or green space. Tacos Fuego is right across the street. We know that they have such a hard time with parking. The reason why this property is so expensive, because I'm like, that's wild, like $200,000.
You also look at it and you're like, this isn't
to clean it up,
a big space.
Yeah. So, I had a discussion with Andrew Hayes from Public Works, and so what's going to happen is when we do the remediation, who's awarded the bid, they will have to take a sample of the asbestos every single day that they're in there removing it and drive it up to Denver and have it tested.
Oh, so we have to pay
before
for
they can continue on the next day.
Testing each day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of how many times it's burned. And that's what is driving the cost of this specific property up. So it's a complex situation. Mm-hmm. We hope to have this cleared by the first week of February, just depending on weather and what have you. But that's the reason it's so expensive.
Sure. I thought it was important to discuss that because we had 2 recent buildings that were burned, the one on 4th Street and then the one on Cypress. And that day, the city was able to go and knock down those buildings because we had permission from the owner. Yeah. And it was different.
Well, and it was... there were structures that had not burned that were up and could potentially fall over. So that falls under the dangerous building code, where the city can go in. We can't pull the stuff off the property, but we can use heavy equipment to knock it and leave it. Right. So we've been in contact with both of the owners, privately owned again, to see what the next steps are going to be to get their properties cleaned up.
I think a lot of the community and us included have voiced our frustration with the process, but I think explaining the testing and what that looks like each day now helps me understand why it's so expensive and also why the process
the city
takes
has
so long.
Also been working with the state to get issued a blanket permit for right-sized properties that are within 1,200 square feet that have burned X amount of time, just an overall permit that would allow the city to go in, not only knock it down, but clean it and remediate it right away without having to apply for a variance each time for the state, because we have so many of these properties in Pueblo.
So essentially expediting the process so that we don't do this for each individual home or residential
if it's within a certain footprint, age, so year the house was built, so we know if there's asbestos or not. So that's something that the city is currently working on.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Great. We also had more exciting news. It feels like we've maybe been talking about this for a little bit, but the funding was approved for the terminal renovation at Pueblo Memorial Airport. Project cost is a little over $6 million and includes renovation, ADA upgrades, updating a couple adjacent buildings, and
bathrooms.
Yes, ADA accommodations for bathrooms as well. Can you talk a little bit about the funding source for this? I know that was a question on Monday night.
Yeah, sure. So when I first became the mayor, this was a project that had been, I think that the city used ARPA dollars like in 2021 to go out and get design work to see what it would cost to do a renovation of the airport. So we had a shovel-ready project. So when the city in 2020, the previous administration set money aside to purchase the Wells Fargo building for city staff, that money had never been used, obviously, because we backed out of the deal. So we had about $4 million sitting in an account, capital improvement account. So we used $2 million of that money to purchase the Dittmer building and renovations for the Dittmer building, which will house the employee health clinic and the parks department. And so there was an existing $2 million that was left in this account. And so I was looking for a project that we could renovate or do that was going to help increase economic development within our community. And so I thought the airport would be perfect. So when we went out to bid, obviously it came back much higher than $2 million.
Sure.
For the entire renovation. And so we are able to use half-cent sales tax dollars because this is within what the voters voted on, because it's an industrial park, and it's in the airport industrial park. So, and it's also going to be part of job creation with our new air mechanics
the aviation
school
mechanic
that's going to be out there. Yeah, so it's kind of like a package deal.
Right.
So we're going to have classroom space where we'll have, I think Brian said 20 students that will be coming for air mechanics school and working with DOS Aviation or CAE right next door. And so it's exciting for the community. It's an economic development project. We hope to attract other businesses out with a newly renovated airport, and we hope to maybe attract additional airlines and people coming into our community.
Yeah, so it'll make the airport busier. I think additionally with the announcement that we just had with PCC and CAE for the new technician program, the timing is just like incredible, kind of how it all lined up. To put together. So I know that our aviation director is very excited, but I know there's a lot of folks you mentioned in the industrial park that, they would like to utilize the airport more for their own travel. And to your point, and as an economic development driver, getting more options for flights out of Pueblo would be fantastic.
Yep.
So cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think Greg says that this will be well on its way, and it may be completed by the end of 26. So that's also exciting.
That's amazing. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Another thing that there was a lot of discussion about on Monday was board appointments, and I know this is the time of year that the mayor makes board and commission appointments for city councilors, but you also regularly make appointments for our boards and commissions. Some of those are city county appointed. Some of those are just city boards. Can you talk a little bit about the process of what it looks like to appoint a board or commission member?
Yeah. So when we changed to a strong mayor form of government, it specifically outlines in the city charter that the mayor is the appointer of all boards and commissions within the city. So those are city boards, city commissions. So not only every January do I appoint city council to their boards, and that process for city council is a little bit different. I reach out to each of the city councilors, and we kind of talk about the boards that are available, what time their meetings are, how much time you have to dedicate, and then I let city council, say, I would like to sit on this board or what have you. So this year there wasn't competing interests in many of the boards.
Sure. That's great.
They knew specifically what they wanted, and they were able to obtain those board seats. And so I placed them on the boards that they asked. The Urban Renewal Authority board, which was the hot topic of the night, that board specifically states in Colorado Revised Statute that I appoint all their board members except for their special districts and the county seat, which is the county commissioner. And then we have District 60, 70, and the special districts. So we have a library, or could be like a lower arc appointment. And so for the city, you have one voting member and one ex officio. And per the statute, it states that the voting member is a municipal official.
An elected official.
Which is me.
Yeah.
Or one of the members of city council. And so with all the turmoil that's been happening with the Urban Renewal Authority over the last year, I stated that I, go to all of their meetings, and
you've been going to all of their meetings.
Yeah.
This isn't a new.
Yeah. And so that I would like to take the voting seat. So there was some discussion about it, but I think that city council trusts the process and trusts what I'm trying to do. And so I'm happy with what happened, and I look forward to serving on the seat. I had my first board meeting yesterday.
And your first official board meeting as a voting member.
Yeah, because, typically I don't get to talk and just sit there like at city council. And so yesterday I had a mic, and I was like, this is like what it was like when I was the president, I had to talk at the meetings. And so, it was good. And so I look forward to working with the authority and the other city councilors on all of their boards and commission appointments. One other thing that I wanted to talk about is, when you apply for a board or a commission, something that I've done since I've been the mayor is I interview every single person.
Yeah, I was hoping you would talk about that.
They come up to the office. So that didn't typically happen before. I don't think that
sometimes
the previous
mayor not every single
interviewed every person.
Yeah.
And so I, invite the citizen up, and we have a chat about why they want to sit on this board. And sometimes what happens in our conversation is, they say, well, I just applied for this board, but if there's something else that you think I would be better fitted or better suited for, can you appoint me to that board? And so that happens too.
Oh, cool.
Maybe they have, some special superpower that they didn't share on their application, but when they come in, they share, and then there's a board that better suits them. Cool. And so I appoint them that way. So that's the process. The next big board that I'm going to be appointing is the Southern Colorado Building Department, and that is a 9-person board. So it's one city council appointment. So it's Councilor Hernandez. He's already been appointed. And then the city has 5 additional appointments, and Boone has 3 joint appointments. And the word joint, or why we do a joint appointment, is because Boone may or may not be able to find 3 individuals who want to sit on this board.
Sure.
And so it then allows me to appoint somebody from the city if they so choose. It's the same way when we had city and county appointments. We could take from either side if someone didn't apply. So that's really the process. Not all boards are city boards. I know Councilman Gomez at the meeting stated that he sat on PDF. That's a outside the city board, so that's not something that I appoint. And there's a lot of boards and commissions that I know you sit on Packard, and
there's a lot of boards.
It's not every city board. It's just the ones that ask to have a city appointed positions that I appoint.
Well, and the role of a lot of those boards and commissions, with the exception of what I would say is Pura, is an advisory role. And so then a lot of times we hear from those boards and commissions, they come and present before council. They may report back to you as the mayor and say, hey, we recently did a survey, or we'd like to do a study, or we have something we'd like you to consider for something new.
Sure.
Or what is the direction that the mayor wants, and now we can work on a plan to move forward. So they play really important roles for how we do city business. And
the Urban Renewal Authority Board is the only other board, that works similar to city council, right?
Sure.
They budget and appropriate property tax dollars. So these are still public funds, just like the city council with city sales tax dollars. And so that one is a very important board to make sure that you have the right people on who understand TIF and property tax dollars. And so those interviews and applications are typically longer.
A little more rigorous.
From like a energy advisory committee or commission or streetscape. The other boards that don't necessarily have a budget and allocate funding and select contracts and those types of things, that at the end of the day is all approved and ratified by the city council. So it's a little bit different on that board.
Okay. I just thought it was important to discuss that because it's timely. This time of year, we just hear a lot about boards and commissions. So
So city councils, they're appointed every year.
Yeah, every January.
So they have an opportunity to sit and move around on the different boards and see how they intertwine with the government.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about Monday?
No, I'm just excited for the new members of City Council, and I look forward to working with each and every one of them. I think that I've had several meetings with them already, and I think they have some ideas and some goals that I'm looking forward to supporting and helping them get their plan going.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, speaking of City Council, we will. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so the city's closed. And normally we would have a work session on Tuesday, but instead of that, we will have our incoming council and outgoing council reception. That way we can welcome the new members and say thank you to those who served their last 4 years in their term. And that will be here at City Hall in the pre-function room, which is right across the hall from the city clerk, and that's 5:30 to 7:30. It's free. It's open to the public. You don't have to RSVP, but we hope that you'll come either meet the new counselors or say thank you to our previous council. And also want to let people know, mark their calendar for your upcoming State of the City address.
Yeah, it's going to be much different than
it will be a lot different.
We've previously done.
Yeah, so that will be Tuesday, February 3rd, and that's going to be at the Public Convention Center from 4:30 to 6:30. And also no RSVP required, some light refreshments. But it's going to be like an open house style event. You'll give an address still.
Yep.
But then we'll have all our departments available for folks to come and visit, learn about the projects we completed in 2025, maybe ask questions about what we're going to do in 2026.
Yep.
So looking forward to that.
Yep.
Great. Okay. Thanks, Mayor. Just want to remind our listener, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, and watch us on Channel 17. Want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And thank you for listening. We will see you next week.